So its premiere is one of the trending topics globally this week. So we wanted to get the behind-the-scenes perspective of members of the crew that helped to bring the story of the legend Bob Marley. We also want to ask them how come we weren't involved, but
in water. That was that extra.
Kurt Wright was the assistant director. Corinne Blake Chin was the casting director. Good morning to you both.
Morning.
Welcome to Smile. So Corinne, I will start with you. Why was I not casted?
Listen, you should have auditioned.
Tell me the process. So you get the script first and then you decide who plays what? Is that what happens?
All right, so what happened is they'll give you a specific role that you need to cast.
Okay.
Say, for example, we started off with Bob Marley, and they'll give you the breakdown. So this gives you the description of Bob Marley in his 30s, mixed race, and then you post it on whether it's Instagram or whichever platform to actually go and get people to come and audition for the role.
How did you get into casting, Lily?
I actually used to work for a marketing company, and it was very difficult finding a good talent agency back then. And then I decided to
Do it yourself.
do it myself.
Good for you.
By the way, back to my original question. Would you have had someone in mind before you sent out and say, everybody come in? So when you look at it, you can say, but I know somebody can do this.
Usually, I would have someone in mind, but for a film of this magnitude, it had to be broadcast globally.
Okay.
So that was everywhere. So we had people from all over the world, Ethiopia, everywhere in Europe.
Auditioning for the role?
Auditioning
Did
for
they
the
come
role.
here or did you travel?
No, so we did self-tape, so that gave everyone the opportunity
to send in
to-
their auditions.
Yeah, so everyone had the chance to audition.
Yeah. How difficult was it to cast, Bob?
It was extremely difficult to cast everyone.
Everybody.
Because there were so much things that you had to get right. And from the get-go, the producers, Siggy, director, Paramount Studio, it was very important that we kept it authentic. And you had to, the patois had to be there, had to be ready, and they wanted real musicians, and you had to look the part, had to be able to act, play football, get ripped. So it was an entire process.
Why you never kind of
Thank you very much.
Oh my
I am
gosh,
a little bit
Ned,
more annoyed
This is
now.
all of you and more. Not?
Shut up.
Kurt, let's talk about your role. AD, you were assistant director
Yeah.
on this film. That's a great look for you.
Yeah.
Tell me when you heard this movie was coming and how you got involved with this gig.
Well, I mean, the thing is, Bob Marley is one of those movies that I think we've been hearing about this movie being in the works from
Forever.
before I was even in the film industry. I mean, it's been quite a long time in the making. So, you know, it was always sort of there in the ether, and you knew that sooner or later. So when it came up, luckily we have been on a relatively good run in terms of productions coming down to Jamaica. Since about 2022, we've worked for most of the major streaming services. So everybody from Hulu, Netflix, Paramount for this movie, obviously. And one thing sort of just led to another, and I've sort of built a reputation as a go-to guy now when you have a crowd of people to be the person that, you know, wrangles them.
You were also a director.
Yes.
How different was it to be now the assistant director?
Well, I mean, the thing is that
The director never do some stuff and you said, no, sir.
Oh, you keep that to yourself, man.
No.
No, the thing is, I mean, a big thing about the film industry, and especially when you're on set, is a key thing is knowing how to stay in your lane. And at the end of the day,
Yeah.
you know, everybody's going to have an idea about how they would have done something differently. And, you know, it is kind of those people who are in the background going, so why you never?
Yeah.
And as soon as you cut, you know what, I would have, no, we don't care what you would have done. Like, that's
True.
not,
Do people
you know,
really
what-
do that?
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly.
Oh my
When-
gosh.
yeah, all the time. But the thing is that, yeah, I mean, as a director, for me, being in the position of being a third AD, and even when it's 300, 400 people, it doesn't bother me. It's like a mental vacation.
I know, he's amazing.
And the thing is, too, a lot of the extras, they get to love it so much, and I want them to love it when we're on set. So what happens is you end up on the next set, and you begin to recognize some familiar faces. You begin to recognize the troublemakers. You begin to recognize the people that you can bring in to help you. And, you know, just between me and my team, like we wrangle it and it always comes out good.
Mental vacation. I
Yep.
like that.
Look at Auntie Faye. Oh, bless her.
I like that.
Tell me what this experience was like. Was it similar to, I mean, this is a huge, iconic film, but a huge, iconic Jamaican. Was it different for you, or was it just more of the same?
I feel like, and you're probably the same thing, we sort of got thrown into a bit of the deep end years ago because the first major thing that I had to work on was No Time to Die.
Yes.
So
Bond.
when the James Bond movie came out here, I was 2 months in Portland working on that. And I mean, that was a bit of a culture shock. That was a hell of an experience getting there.
How so?
Well, I mean, you know, I think at the time when it came out, I'd been in the industry. I'm approaching 20 years in the industry now. At the time, maybe about 15, 16 years in the industry. So you kind of feel like you have the hang of this. And I remember myself and, you know, the rest of some of the Jamaican ADs and the PAs, we got off the bus, the British bus pulls up and the British ADs and the PAs get off. And we're standing there ready to, you know, greet them and meet them. And they just militant, man. They came off the bus. One went for the walkies. One went to get the paperwork. One went to, and it just, and we kind of stood
Ain't
there
no
for a
time for
second, like,
greetings.
yeah,
Across
we
the world.
stood there
We
like,
got work to do.
all right.
Yeah.
But it only took us like, you know, that day to sort of be like, yo, we need to
Step up our game.
step up our
Yes.
game. And I'm proud to say that not just us, but the entire Jamaican industry, like all of the crew, through all of the experience that we've been getting over the past couple of years since that, has been stepping up on an amazing level.
Every department.
Yep.
Every single department.
Corinne,
yeah.
it's now the end of the day.
Yes.
How did you feel when you looked at it and said, yeah, I think I get everything right this
Oh
time?
God, it's like it was a team effort, and I was just like, yes, we understood the assignment and we delivered. And at the end of the day, it was one mission, and we all worked together to just bring this thing together.
Was there anything that you said, maybe I could have tweaked it a little differently, or maybe it's not this person should
All
have
right,
done
yeah,
that?
cast
or-
the wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I think that everything just fell in place. Like if you watch the film, you'll see the amazing chemistry and the camaraderie with the entire cast. It's magical, and then everything worked well with Kingsley, and his accent was impeccable. Like
Yeah, but just before Sim, but during that, did anyone say, no, I don't want Neville Bell doing this? I don't want...
yeah. Oh my God! Like
Yeah?
constantly, it was.
Seriously?
It was a long process because we had to. Everyone we had to present it to the entire Marley family and the Paramount Studio, the directors and the other producers, and everyone had to agree.
Boy.
And I think that
Unanimously?
sometimes, yeah,
Boy.
I mean, sometimes you'll have one person off, and then majority will be okay. But I think that was one of the challenges, is just managing expectations.
So there were some people that you had to say, well, yeah, this,
Yeah, we had to say, all right, well, this
Yeah, it's
girl
not
is
you.
really
It's
good.
really
you know,
not you.
yeah.
Wow.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, for sure, yeah, had to.
Wow. And so at the end of the day, folks, when you look back at this and see your name in the credits, well, first of all, the premiere. Wow.
Yeah.
Harry and Meghan
Yes.
and everybody else. How did you guys feel to like see it all on screen and know that your name would be running at the end of the show? Did you sit in the theater until the credits ran?
Of course.
Just to see your name?
Listen.
Of course. That was the best part of the movie, right?
Yes, I was fear screaming. Yeah.
Yeah.
Kurt,
Wow.
that this James Bond thing would have been huge.
Yeah.
How much did you learn there that you brought here? Or did you learn more here than you learned there?
No, I think that the James Bond experience really was a turning point for me, especially because, as I said, you've been doing it for X amount of time, and you do feel a bit settled in yourself, and you feel like, I know exactly what I'm doing. And then you see, you're on the set of literally the biggest movie filming in the world at the time.
Yeah.
And you realize this
Amazing
is it.
Yeah.
You realize there's someone to tie your left shoelace and another person to tie your right shoelace. Like there's so many people and so many moving parts.
I would have run you up the curve even
Yeah.
more real quick.
Yeah.
What's the next big one that's in Jamaica or coming to Jamaica? You can't tell us because you
Can't tell. I mean, we're in early pre-production.
But we need to,
I don't
we
know.
need to
No, but
start
just to be-
training up our auditions.
Well, practice because
Oh, we know what to practice
enough things
for.
are
All right,
come.
let me just, you know me, you just bust things on TV. Let me burst it.
You do.
The next one, it's about I and I and the eye.
What's the storyline? No, never mind.
You don't want to
Don't
hear it?
tell me.
It's a
I
comedy.
know it's
clearly.
not.
It's not a comedy.
It's
a
not.
love.
Triangle.
Yeah, square. It's a love square. Let me just come to
It's an entanglement.
It's
Entanglement, yeah.
And you are all caught up by yourself in a net. You just did the throw to the break for me.
Congrats
Thank you,
to
guys.
both. Congrats
Thank
to you
you
both.
so much.
Fantastic, fantastic. And I'm going to see your name in Hollywood and say, say, it's my sister and brother. That.
Don't say.
No,
And then they give me
careful.
Western Union account.
Yeah.
As always.
Take us out.
Assistant Director Kurt Wright and Casting Director Karine Blake Chin. Guys, what an honor to have you here.
Yeah, man.
Thank you.
So cool. I want to talk more about these experiences.
blessings.
Coming up in the next half hour, News in 5 and Outfits by Amstouche.
There you go.
Ooh, so
And
cool.
next week, me and I movies.
Yeah.